Hello, 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 ladies. Just a little bit excited. Faye here from busybusinesswomen.biz. You know that. And I am feeling rather festive. So today, what are we talking about? We are talking about the biggest lessons I've learned in my business in 2019. There are actually quite a lot. So I'm just going to wait a few moments until a few more of you join us, because I know lots of you are going to jump on today. And so I have a little surprise for you. I wanted to share something with you, given that I have decked myself out all holly and bells. Hello, Kim and Julie. Alyssa, hello. Nancy, lovely to see you. Join me. Alyssa, I really hope you're wearing your Christmas leggings as you watch this. Please let me know. Hey, Ange. Jump into the chat and let me know what you are wearing right now. And that sounds really weird, but I want to know, have you got your Christmas gear on? Because before we get started, I know with Facebook Lives, you should just jump into the content, but we all know that we're here for like talking about my year, right? I have my mince pie ready. I have my new fancy wine glass, champagne glass. It's just got water in it. I realised I couldn't trust myself at lunchtime on a really busy day, so I'm raising my water to you, and I have got my mince pie. But get this, I put this on especially for you. Hello, Alexi. She said my son is what? And she said my son is what? She said it's a fairy. Yes, I'm a fairy. Look, let me show you. Yes. A big fairy. Okay, watch this. Let your son see this, Ange. Hope you can hear it. Okay. I'm probably going to lose viewers at this point. People are going to think I've just lost my mind, but you know, after a big year, I finally got my kids into school, drop off today, feeling like I've won the lottery. Just a little bit excited, so I'm super pleased to be here, and really looking forward to hanging out with you for a little bit of time. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're on the live, just jump in, comment, say hello, let me know if you're wearing some Christmassy get up to, or if it's just me looking ridiculous. Went to school pick up today, and I will be going to school drop off and pick up like this. And people keep saying, Faye, I love your dress. That's really nice. Well, let me tell you, I think it was $15 on eBay or Wish or something like that. It's just 100% nylon and polyester. It's really sweaty. It has this empire line that makes me feel like I'm wearing maternity wear, and it's really uncomfortable. But by hook or by crook, I will wear it twice a year, like once like now and then Christmas Day. So Julie said, haha, my 3-year-old loves your outfit. Yes, that's pretty much the extent of it, right? Okay, so I'm going to be recording this for the next podcast too, so I'll try not to swear and get overexcited. But I'm super pleased to have all of you here today. And if you're watching the replay, just comment with #replay so I know that you joined us. And please play along and enjoy. So I wanted to share with you the biggest lessons I've learned in my business this year. And as I kind of scrambled to pull this together yesterday, I reckon there are actually loads more. I'm bound to create some kind of blog post later on. But there were quite a few things that I'd learned that I really wanted to share with you. So that's why at the very last minute I threw this out and said, let's just do a Facebook Live, hang out together, celebrate a little bit of Christmas spirit, and let me just tell you what's been going on in my business. Now, because we're recording this as a podcast and this has this wonderful bell on it, look what I did. I came prepared. Da-da-da. Hat. That doesn't have a bell on it. There we go. Who prefers that one? Okay, this is going to be shockingly difficult to edit for a podcast, but we'll see how we go. Hello, Suzette and Jenny and Leanne and Renee. So good to see you all here. All right, so, you know, some of these are not going to be groundbreaking or rocket science for you, but I want to share with you why they've been important for me in my business. All right, so I've got a little bit of a list here, and I'm going to take you through them. And I'd love to, as I go, for those of you on the live, I want you to jump in and let me know, does this resonate with you? Have you had this happen to you? I realised that a lot of them were coming from, you know, slightly more negative experiences that I've had this year, but the upside is the positivity that it brings forward with that learning. So I'd like to know which ones resonate with you as we go, and I'm keeping a close eye on the chat, so let me know. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, just jump over into the Busy Businesswoman Facebook group, go and look at videos, and you will see me in my Christmas glory, and you'll be able to comment on there too, okay? All right. So what's happened to me over the last 12 months are the biggest lessons I've learned. First of all, and some of you may have been party to this lesson, is number one is get out of toxic environments. And in particular, I'm referencing this to Facebook groups, and I hope no one watching this decides that this is a toxic Facebook group and they want to leave. But for me, I had some experiences, or one in particular this year, that really made me question where I was hanging out online. And I know that this is nothing new. You will have heard this kind of story many, many times before. But I put a post in a Facebook group that I just got annihilated by, and unfairly, I believe, and it made me feel sick to my stomach. It was an awful experience. I am all up for robust conversations, constructive feedback, constructive criticism, if you like to call it that. But I'm not up for keyboard warriors and people that are just on some kind of power trip. And so this particular scenario and other things that I'd seen gone on in a particular group made me question where I was hanging out. And it had this domino effect of, one, I don't want to hang out in that group. So I brought myself out of the group, and it was really empowering. Like, I cannot begin to tell you how nice it has been to not see all of the kind of stuff that I realized I'd let into my day on social media every single day for quite a few years, actually. But it also got me questioning the other groups that I was in, and realizing that some groups I was in, and this would be the same as following pages or feeds on Instagram, it's just I'm referencing it to Facebook groups, I realized that things were coming up in my feed that were irritating me. And you might be feeling like that about me now, and that's fine. Like, I'm not for everybody, so it's fine to go. And I really want to recommend to you all that you do that. Not all to my group, but, you know, if there are places that you're hanging out online that are feeling toxic, or you're feeling irritated and aggravated, you can get out of that group. You can unfollow that page or that feed. When it comes to family and friends, that's a little trickier, but you certainly can hide them from your newsfeed. Just don't let that stuff infiltrate your day, because in business, there's enough other stuff going on. We don't need that toxicity mucking with our mind. And that particular experience, whilst it was probably more dramatic for me, it made me realize how much it encompassed my mind when that was going on. I felt like I literally couldn't think of anything else in my business. And all I could keep thinking was, has anyone else commented something really bad? And as this whole post was blowing up, it just got me, I felt awful, and I don't want that in my life, and we don't need that in our lives. So I really want to encourage you to get out of any toxic environments that you're in and limit your exposure to those, because we just don't need to do that. The second one, which is kind of off the back of that, but way more positive, is I've realized, you know, I love connecting with people, and I love doing this on a Facebook Live. And for those who listen to podcasts, I love being able to talk on a podcast, and particularly with the guests that I've had. But I love getting in front of people. And if I can do that on Zoom, or better still, one-on-one in person or in a group setting, brilliant. So I've realized that that's my strength, and I want to do that more. But a lesson that I've had this year was the power of connecting with people where you have no idea where that connection might go. You know, on face value, it might be that you've seen a piece of their marketing and you've interacted with it, and before you know it, you kind of found yourself on some consultation call or a phone call or a messenger chat, and you don't really know where this is going, but you've got a good vibe with them and you go with it. Because for me, that's something that happened with Ryan Bowles, and you'll know that Ryan is the only guy in this Facebook group. And that relationship came out of me just chatting and commenting in his Facebook group. And before you know it, I was in his program. He's then come into my group and taught my clients. And it's been a wonderful relationship that purely came from not knowing where a connection may go to, but realizing that there was a nice vibe there, and I just wanted to know more. And so I think sometimes, and certainly I've been guilty of this, we can get focused on our sales and marketing. We've got busy lives, they're full lives. We might not feel like we've got room for more people in it unless we know why. But sometimes you don't know why, and just going with that flow and seeing what happens can open the doors to amazing opportunities, which is exactly what has happened with me this year. Ryan said you're only one connection away from opportunity in your business. And I've seen that on multiple levels with him and with other people in my business. So, big thank you and shout out to Ryan. And I hope that many of you have experienced that and will continue to, because it's a lovely feeling to meet someone where you had no idea where it was going to go, but it's such a positive influence in your business later on. So that's number 2. And ladies on the live, please don't forget to jump in and let me know which of these resonate with you, which have you done, and which are you maybe going to put into practice, because I'd love to make this, a bit of a to-do list for you of stuff that's going to be great for you in 2020, okay? All right, number 3, and this is such a powerful one in my business. I've known this for a long time, but it has become really apparent this year, is ask for what you want. I remember reading Jack Canfield's book, something about principles, success principles. And there's a chapter in there about asking what you want. And I read it probably about a decade ago now. And I've always been up for, just getting out there and saying what you want and seeing if it happened. But I've done that more and more in my business recently, and in particular in the context of my Shine Masterclasses and my podcasts. And when I started both of those, Shine was new, so nobody knew what Shine was. So are people going to want to come on and speak and run a masterclass for my clients when they don't even know this thing, what this thing is that I'm doing? And then with my podcast wasn't well known. So are people going to want to come on and share, sit with me for an hour and share all of their goodness with an audience of, they had no idea how many people at that point. What's been amazing this year is that every single person that I've asked to come into the masterclass and run a whole hour masterclass with my clients, and also come onto the podcast and chat with me for an hour, they've instantly said yes. And in fact, in 2 years, there's only been one person that's ever said no. And I have an inkling, because I actually know, that she wishes she hadn't made that decision. So I want to encourage you, if this resonates with you, to go out there and ask for more stuff. Ask for what it is that you want in your business. Ask for the help that you want and need. Ask for the people that you admire or aspire to be like, or would love to have in your business, to come in and be a part of it. Because for me, it's opened up amazing doors to be able to connect with really awesome, smart women in business, and Ryan, the one man, have amazing conversations on my podcast, learn so much from these people just by saying, would you come on a masterclass? Would you come on a podcast? And every single time the message or the email back has been yes. And it's still continued to surprise me that nobody's questioned me about it. Nobody's saying, oh, but what are you going to do here? What are you going to do there? How much time do I need? There's been no questions. They've just said yes. So imagine that being you in your business. If there was something that you really wanted right now, who would you go and ask for it? Because there's the possibility that they will instantly say yes to you. And all of the, internal gymnastics, the mental gymnastics of, what if they say this? What if they say that? What if they say no? How shitty am I going to feel? All of these different things may not be in the equation whatsoever. They certainly haven't been for me. And at that point, I just want to say a massive high five and thank you to every single person that's been in my Shine tribe this year and running masterclasses for me and on the podcast. You are phenomenal people, brilliant business owners, and it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. And I am very grateful to have you in the midst of busy business women. So thank you for that. Okay, so that's number 3, ask for what you want. Number 4, trust your gut. I was just having a conversation with a client of mine. We just finished a coaching call. And I said, you've got to trust your gut. I'm really up for the analytics, the numbers. Make sure that you're looking at the back end of your sales and marketing, what's converting, what isn't, and know the cold, hard numbers and facts behind your business. But also, there are times in business, particularly with relationships, that it's important to trust your gut when you first come across someone, you first speak to someone. And I've known this for a very, very long time, but this year I've had it go kind of sour a couple of times where I haven't trusted my gut and I've really regretted it. So I wanted to bring this one up today because I want it to be a little reminder if you're umming and ahhing about working with someone or bringing someone into your business and your gut's saying no, I really do urge you to trust that. So I had a situation where I had somebody come into my community that I kind of questioned why she was doing that. And I actually physically questioned why and got some kind of vague answers. And over a period of time realized that the only reason she was coming into my community was to suss out my business and to look what I was doing and probably to replicate it. And it left me with this really bad taste in my mouth, because I guess I felt like I had been, what's the word? I felt like I'd, like the wool had been pulled over my eyes. And I'm a very honest person, and I really value trust. So that was broken. And the upside of that was it kind of made me lift my game in terms of my terms and conditions and the way that I run one of my communities, so that from a legal standpoint, that isn't possible. But it also threw up, in terms of lessons for this year, trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, if a person doesn't feel right, and this goes for clients, like potential clients that you may be having a consultation with or talking to, for those of you in service-based businesses, sometimes we can run the risk of accepting a client because cash flow might be tight, or that we want to build a community and so more people might feel like the right idea. But actually getting the wrong person on can be really disruptive. Thankfully, this wasn't disruptive in this case, but it just left me feeling like my IP had been, I'm struggling with my words today, but my IP had, maybe been compromised. And I don't want you to feel like that. So think about how you feel when you're talking to people that are potentially going to be working in your business or with your clients, and trust your gut. Don't trust your gut on the numbers though. When it comes to testing and measuring in your business, make sure that you are clear on your sales and marketing numbers, because gut feel can be misleading. You can be very excited about doing something on Facebook, for example, that feels like this, feels really exciting to be hanging out with you and lots of people on the live, which is fantastic. But does this convert into paying clients? Do I create better engagement in a community? Do I get leads through from doing the things that I do in my communities? If I don't know the numbers and I don't test and measure, then potentially you can be doing a whole load of stuff in whichever way in your business it's relevant and it's not converting. So trust your gut with people, trust the numbers when it comes to sales and marketing. Getting a little bit passionate about that one, wasn't I? Ladies on the live, I would love to know what's resonating with you. So please, there are bucket loads of you on there right now. Just jump in and post a comment and let me know what is resonating. So far we've talked about getting out of toxic environments, spending time connecting with awesome people, regardless of agenda and where you might see that going. Ask for what you want, because it's a really powerful thing, and trust your gut when it comes to people. Of those 4 ladies on the live, which are resonating with you most? Let me know, because I'm wearing a Christmas tree hat and I feel like I'm giving and I want to receive. I know, I do like giving presents actually at Christmas. I said to my daughter yesterday, I much prefer giving presents than receiving them. But on the Facebook Live, it's lovely to have some chatter. All right, I'll keep going and I'm going to come back to you in a moment, all right? Number 5. Again, lots of these things have come up with clients this week, actually, in client coaching sessions. Don't swap services. Don't swap services. Don't swap services. I just want to say that over and over again, okay? Now, this is something I have been saying for years. So in terms of what lessons have I learned in my business this year, I have learned this every single year previous. But this year, I didn't listen to my own advice. And I did a trade swap. Unlike previous times when I've done it, I set some clear expectations and goals and thought I had dotted all the I's and crossed the T's. And ultimately, I've come away very unsatisfied, feeling very unhappy with that trade swap, which is really unfortunate. And the thing that I'm most mad about, in fact, I'm not mad about any of the rest of it, apart from lost time, because I'm precious about my time, but I'm mad about the fact that I didn't listen to my own advice and I went back on what I've been saying for years. So to give you some context, not in my situation, but just in terms of how this might apply to your business, I hear a lot of people saying, well, I do this thing in my business and I've got a client who wants that thing and I want her thing too. So we're going to swap services and we're each going to get this thing we want, but we're not going to have to exchange any money. Sounds great, doesn't it? Like it makes logical sense. The problem with that is that neither party, regardless of how much you set up the deal, will not come at it from the same point of view as if money was being traded. It is different, no matter how much you think it won't be. And so when things go wrong, when expectations aren't met, it's very difficult to kind of clamber back from that and act in the same way as if you'd traded cash. The other thing, and Denise Duffield Thomas talks about this in her book Chillpreneur, from a money mindset point of view, it is far more empowering to charge for your services and pay other people for theirs. Money flows through us, so if you are stopping that happening, issues come up. So I should have listened to my own advice. I'm mad that I didn't. I will never do that again, and it's been a reminder of lessons that I've learned in the past that I really should take more note of. So if you are thinking of doing a trade of services, I really just implore you to not. Find the money to pay for that person's services and then get them to pay for yours. And also it might throw up the question of, are they the right people to work with, and are you the right person for them? Because when you've actually got to trade money for it, I think you make a more serious decision. And maybe your choice of provider might be different when you do that, okay? Tina said that resonating with her, spending time with people. Yeah, like you're such a great connector, Tina. And I think, it's great for us to get out of the online world and get in front of people, which is why I love hanging out with you in our networking catch-ups. Hey, Joey, she said, trust your gut and look at numbers to see what's working. 100%. Melanie said, agree with you on the swap service. It's so difficult to be fair and equitable. And I really did, thank you, Melanie, because that's an awesome point. I really did think I'd nailed the being fair and equitable. And personally, I feel like I did at my end, but the delivery is what let me down from the swap. And it means that I've lost 3 months of time, and that's cost me cold hard cash in my business. So it's been a painful lesson to learn again, but geez, I'm not going to do it again. Okay, so that was number 5. There's 8, so we've only got 3 more to go. Number 6, if you plan, it won't happen. Now, I know that you know this. I talk about planning all the time. For those of you in my Profit Planning Lab, you'll know the power of planning. I'm getting some amazing feedback today. Somebody told me, one of my clients told me I should have charged more for the Profit Planning Lab. It's been a game changer for her in 10 years of business. Great feedback. And this is one of the things I talk about. If you don't plan it, it won't happen. And I didn't listen to my own advice in this space because I'm great at planning practically everything. But what I wasn't good at this year was mapping out events and particular in-person workshops. There's probably a bit of fear wrapped up in that and some limiting beliefs there, which I'm going to quash in 2020. But what happened was, because I didn't map them out as solidly as I should have done, the events haven't happened. So I'm great at doing online stuff. I do online stuff every single week. I can decide I'm going to run an online summit next week and it'll be up there and out. But in terms of physical events, I'm not doing them. And yet my Guru Space is really connecting with people one-on-one, not one-on-one, in person, is where I really thrive and the space I love being in. So it was a weird realization to recognize that I'd sabotaged my own success, because I know my business could have been bigger and bolder and better if I had run more live events. So I want you to think, first of all, like, what are you not doing that's holding you back? And 2, then how can you plan that into your year next year to make sure that it happens? Because if you don't think about it now, or certainly in January, I guarantee you that you can easily slide into the roller coaster that I did and find yourself in June, July, or suddenly December, and those things haven't happened because life is full and busy and hectic, and just the day-to-day takes hold. So if something is important to you, I really, really encourage you to start planning that and physically put it in your diary now. Even if you have to move the date, that is better than not putting it in at all, because I know that June and half year mark and financial year end will be here before we know it. And I know that lots of you are looking at me on the live and thinking, Faye, you're wearing a Christmas hat and you're talking about year end. But I also know that you know that too. Those 6 months will go by quickly. And if we don't plan what's most important, it will not happen. So that was another wake up call for me in the context of live events. I've got to plan them to make sure I execute them, because there's some mental gymnastics going on for me about those events. And so I've got to push past that discomfort, and planning becomes the first important kind of foothold in making that happen. Natalie said, great advice, re not swapping services, Faye. Totally agree. Thank you. And hello, Anu. Lovely to see you join me. I'm glad you made it. All right, number 7. Quality over quantity is always queen. Not king, it's queen, right? This is in the context of everything, I reckon, but I was enjoying joining in a conversation with Ryan, who I spoke about earlier, in his Facebook group, and he just happened to post this whole conversation, this point up in his group earlier about, don't focus on quantity in your group and comparing yourself to bigger groups. Like, really focus on the quality. And that's been a nice realization for me, because for many years, I guess I've been focused on how many people have I got on my email list? How many people have I got on my Facebook group? How many people are following me on different social media platforms? And we all know that those are vanity metrics to a degree. Like, if you've got more people on your email list, you're more likely to get better conversions if you're regularly communicating with people and have the right people on your list. But also, on that last point, right people on your list, it is better to have less people on your email list, less people in your Facebook group, less people following you on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest and everywhere else, of the right people, than it is to have exponentially more but filled with the wrong. Did you like my jazz hands there? Okay, and I need to remind myself of that, because I've got caught up looking at other Facebook groups and thinking, wow, that Facebook group is massive and that's growing really, really quickly. And actually mine is growing beautifully. But you know what's really powerful about mine is that there's no promos. People join because they actually want to hang out and talk business and not just spruik their wares. And it's an engaged group. There's not tumbleweed rolling every time someone posts something, or if I turn up on a live, there's people here. And that quality is far more important than the quantity. So for you in your business, I want you to think about where you might have got distracted by the shiny, sparkly things. And I'm laughing for those who are on the podcast because I have got a shiny glitter Christmas tree on my head. I want you to think about where you might have got distracted by the shiny, sparkly marketing metrics in some cases, and you're not focusing on the quality of what it is that you're doing and how important that is. Focus on getting great emails out to a really succinct, great tribe of people on your list that open up and click through on your emails, rather than spruiking your lead magnet everywhere, collecting loads of random emails of people that you'd never want to work with, paying more in your CRM because your list is bigger, and having lower click-through rate because the people on your list aren't the people that want your stuff. Like, it can really be a big domino effect either way. So for me, it's really about focusing on the quality. I started turning a heap more people down that want to come into this group, and being really mindful of who I let into my Shine tribe, and really people that renew as well, so that I can focus on that quality over quantity. Anu said, always focus on quality. Absolutely. And you sell amazing jewelry that's sparkly and shiny and needs amazing quality. Hey, Jane, lovely to see you here. And Kylie, Tiffany, Joanna, Jody, Donna. Hello, ladies. Okay, and the final one, and I really hope I'm nailing this, and please, ladies on the live, or if you listen to the replay, comment and let me know, is do it your way. Do business your way. And this has been a realization that I've actually had over the last couple of years. If you go back a few years ago, I realized, and I had this moment where I had started morphing into a different kind of business owner, doing things the way that other people were doing them. In particular, a group that I was in, that I was paying money to be in and learning from, and that was massively valuable. But I had stopped to think about how I wanted to do things, and I had just started to do things the way that everybody else was. And I'd gone on autopilot of, if one person says do this, I'm going to do it that way. And it's taken me a bit of time to unravel that thinking, to be honest, because I've learned all these strategies and techniques that I know are powerful. So, do I really want to do them a different way? But actually, I want to do them the Faye way. I feel like there should be a dance coming on there on my Christmas hat. But I want to do them the Faye way. I know what my audience want. I know who my target market are. I know what they love about me. I know what they hate about me. And I want to make sure that I'm showing up. I don't want to use this word, but I'm going to, authentically. Or if you've read my blog post or watched my Facebook Live before, or the podcast, I want to show up ugly. And I don't want the bells and whistles. I just want you to see me, and I want to do business my own way. And some people are really going to connect with that and others aren't, and that's completely fine. But my point here in terms of lessons is, be mindful of if you are starting to morph in to somebody else. And that may be morphing into somebody that's within your, is a competitor. because you're seeing someone do really well and you want to be like them. Or it might be someone that you're learning from, or someone that is in your network that is doing nothing like you do in business, but they're doing their business in a certain way that you admire. And before you know it, you're trying to do your Facebook Lives like them. You're trying to do your Facebook posts or your Canva posts, or you're running a program in the way that they do because you admire them. And it's lovely to do that, but don't lose who you are in the process, because we all have something that we bring to the table for our clients that is more valuable to them than someone else. And it could just be the way that we deliver it. It's not even necessarily the content or the product or the service, but it's the way that we deliver it. So don't lose yourself in that process of trying to grow your business, that you forget who you really are in your business, because it's way easier to be yourself. And, I know it took a lot of weight off my shoulders to be able to go, it doesn't really matter how these other people are doing it. And even though you've been told this is a great way to do it and it's going to get you leads and clients and make more money, how do you really want to do this, and what suits you, your personality, your business, your brand, your messaging, and more importantly, your potential clients and actual clients? And that's when it kind of gave me permission to go, oh, I've gone off track a little bit here, to rein myself back in. And you know what? If I want to run a Facebook Live with a fake glass of champagne, a mince pie, and a Christmas tree on my head, wearing a nylon dress that's making me sweat a lot, now that is perfectly fine, because I know I'm professional, even if I don't look like it right now. Okay, so let me check in on the comments, because that's my 8. I could have gone on and on, but I don't know how much time you ladies have got to hang on a live or a podcast with me at this time of year. So I'm going to cull it at 8. I reckon there'll be something else coming out in the new year when I have all these moments of realization over Christmas when I'm relaxed and chilling out. But for the moment, it's definitely, my top lessons for 2019. Jane said, do it the Faye way, love it. And you know what? I'm so glad you're on this, because Jane Benston, you have been a linchpin in my business for years now, and your encouragement on doing it the Faye way and looking at my strengths have been invaluable. So I take my Christmas tree hat off to you and say a massive, massive thank you, because I really appreciate everything you've done for me. Jane is in my sphere of influence, and she's a friend, and she loves champagne, and she's awesome. Natalie said, oh, I love the one to finish the live. A great mantra as I start out in business. Oh, hang on, I've lost there you go. For myself and creating my own direction. Thank you, Faye. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Natalie. Thank you, and wish you very best of luck in your new job. New business. Exciting. Joey said, loving all these lessons. You are very, very welcome. Hey, Anne. Anu said, these are more like top things to think of in 2020 and beyond. Yeah, total. Like, you can really spin it right. They're things I've learned this year, but then I'm completely taking into next year to make sure that I don't kind of fall foul of again. And yeah, I'm really glad that you got that. And said, I love your lessons. Thank you. You're very, very welcome, James. Oh, happy to be her support. Love you. Love you too. So ladies, thank you so much for hanging out. I love this group. I actually have to be really careful not to spend too much time in here, because I feel like I literally could be in this group like a full-time business all the time. I'd love to be running more lives, doing more stuff for you. And there's some great stuff on the agenda for 2020. I'm excited about the plan for Busy Business Women moving forward. But I'm incredibly grateful for those of you hanging out on the live, watching the replay. Don't forget #replay and let me know you join me, and listening to the podcast. I really value your time, and the fact that you give it up to listen to my dulcet tones. And for those of you watching the live, the Christmas gumph means a lot to me. So thank you so much. To those of you that have had a tough year, I really wish you every success moving forward, and I hope that that weight is lifted for you in 2020. And for those of you that are going gangbusters or anywhere in between, kudos to you. I raise my glass. I hope that I can further support you moving forward, and that you just want to hang out in this tribe and have some fun, talk business in a non-toxic way, and really thrive as a community, because that, in the words of Marie Kondo, sparks a lot of joy for me. Okay. All right. So Ange said, hey, yes, I love it. I'm going to really focus on where I want to go with my business. I'm going to refocus my target in 2020. Fabulous. Tina says, thanks for all your support throughout this year. You are so welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure. To all my clients, To those of you in Shine, the Busy Business Builder, in Thrive, for those of you that have come through the Busy Business Builder world over the last 12 months, and everybody that's contributed to where we're all at today, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This business means the world to me. I know I overshare and I get very emotional, but hey, that is Faye and I'm doing it the Faye way. And I love that you enjoy that and you're part of this. So thank you very much. Now, before I get emotional, I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm going to go and eat my mince pie. I will be raising a glass of proper champagne, not water, to all of you lovely ladies this evening once I've done the final school pickup this afternoon. And I hope that you have some R&R planned over Christmas and that you are well looked after, because us busy business women deserve that. So until the next time, which will be in the new year, fabulous ladies hanging out with you. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves. Love the people that are important to you. And I will see you again in here very, very soon. See you later. Bye.